Alina Shakirova from Bratsk disappeared on June 9, 2018. The fifth day from dawn until deep into the night, squads of police officers, investigators, and volunteers time after time combed residential neighborhoods, parks, squares, abandoned under-construction Bratsk, in search of 9-year-old Alina Shakirova. Hundreds of people responded to the request to help find the schoolgirl. Alas, the detectives did not have a single clue as to what happened to the child. "We tried to make a complete picture of Alina's day to understand where to look," said the head of the investigative department for the city of Bratsk, Anton Kashov. The girl left the house on Barkova Street around 1 p.m. on June 9th. As evidenced by video surveillance cameras, she walked alone in the park Metallurgist and the surrounding area almost until the evening. Then, around 9 p.m., sharp she went into the store Oblako, where her mother works. She was going to walk home from there, but never made it. The Shakirova's apartment is across the street from the store, literally 200–300 meters away. Therefore, her mother was not afraid to let Alina go alone, despite the fact that the girl did not have her phone with her. The latest video from the shopping center cameras proves the schoolgirl passed the house. It is not known where she went, and there were no suspicious persons near Alina. The parents hoped to the last minute that their daughter had run in to visit some of her friends or acquaintances and had been playing around. Having called them all, the Shakirovs contacted the police the next morning. Thus began a large-scale search. There were no conflicts at home the day before, say the investigators. The girl is calm, is brought up in a full, quite prosperous family of average income. The parents have an older daughter, 12 years old. She also does not know where Alina Shakirova could have gone. The schoolgirl became a victim of a maniac. She had an accident. There is no main version. You could only speculate. Meanwhile, the IC opened a criminal case under the article "Murder of a Minor Child." In Bratsk, an operational headquarters has been created to supervise the search for the girl. This story touched everyone deeply, says Andrei Semkin, head of the volunteer group. "We are not giving up. The whole Bratsk continues to believe that the girl will be found alive and unharmed." Drivers who were driving along Barkova and Yangel streets that day can be of great help in the search. It is possible that the girl was caught in the lenses of video recorders. According to the recordings, there is a chance to trace where Alina went. Investigators ask motorists to contact the nearest police station or the investigative committee. More than 150 police officers went to inspect the Danube dachas. The employees inspect the territory, where there are more than 8,000 dacha plots reported in the Bratsk city administration. Specialists of the Unified Dispatching Service of the city continue and review video cameras located on the city streets. City services have examined collectors, well hatches, and pipelines. Day and night, the child is looking for and volunteers. There are 100 of them. Indifferent citizens are scouring the suburban forests, the riverbank, and the gardening area. Alina's photos have been posted all over the city. "We are talking to people, trying to find out more information," says the deputy head of the search and rescue team of the Bratsk Nadezhda train. "The search does not stop. Even at night we work." 11 days after the disappearance of the child, the police came to the suspect. The place where the girl's body lies was indicated by the suspect in her murder, a 43-year-old cab driver. The man was awaiting trial in the detention center. 9 p.m. Alina. At the stop of the TRK Bratsk was recorded by a video surveillance camera. The girl ran across the road. According to the official version of the investigation, she was picked up by a cab driver who promised to give the schoolgirl a ride home. But the trusting Alina never saw her home door. The man turned his car towards the garage. There he abused the girl and then put her back in the car, afraid that the girl's parents would find out about everything. The criminal strangled a defenseless child and hid the body in a forest outside the city. Olesya Sorenkova assistant head of the Investigative Directorate of the Investigative Committee of the Investigative Committee of the Irkutsk Region for Media Relations. Analysis of all the materials of the criminal case and operational data helped investigators and criminal investigation officers to get on the trail of a resident of the city of Bratsk, who may have had something to do with the disappearance of the child. During the interrogation, the defendant confessed that he had killed the girl and showed the place where he had hidden her body. Further inspection of the crime scene, questioning of relatives, acquaintances, and potential witnesses, as well as forensic examinations, took investigators more than half a year. No one in their right mind can understand how one can deliberately take the life of a child. Alina Shakirova's mother often asked, and still asks herself this question. One can hardly imagine what the woman felt that day when her daughter did not come home in the evening, those 11 days of uncertainty when the search for the girl yielded no results, and that evening when the investigators invited the unhappy mother to identify the body of her child. Her daughter was not a homebody. In good weather, she spent time outside with her friends. She didn't go far away, for that was a strict parental prohibition, but she often went to her mother's workplace because she worked as a saleswoman in a store not far from home. She would run in, and I would give her a chocolate bar or something else, maybe some juice or lemonade to drink with the girls, Valentina Shakirova recalls. She was always allowed to go out until 9 o'clock in the evening, but that day she came to my store around 9 o'clock. It was just starting to rain and all her friends had left. I said, "Alina, go home. Daddy's home." She always obeyed. When I saw her off, I stood on the porch and saw her walk towards the house. I thought she'd run home. At about 10 o'clock in the evening, the woman was disturbed by a call from home. Alina's father called. The girl never came home. Valentina at first regarded his words as a silly joke, but the father was serious. His daughter was not at home. Alina's mother sent her husband and eldest daughter to look for the girl in the neighborhood yards. She could have lost her keys or stayed at her friend's house. Her worried mother consoled herself. Unfortunately, Alina's cell phone was being repaired at the time. "I called everyone I knew that night," says Valentina Shakirova. "I worked at the store until morning. Everyone I've called says no. They haven't seen her. Usually, even if she stays with someone, they call me and say they have Alina. But not here. It turns out she didn't run home, but to the metallurgist park. Behind the pharmacy on Yangle Street, he, a man, sort of stopped and asked Alina, 'Where are you running to?' That's what he said. I always warned my children not to talk to anyone, not to take anything from anyone, especially not to get into a car with strangers," says Valentina Shakirova. "There are no people outside the drugstore. You can get her into the car there." Alina would never go to a stranger. Alina's mother saw the man who confessed to killing her daughter only once. In court, when the man's detention was prolonged, she says that she knows from the words of law enforcers that the arrested man has children, and about how the mother is stronger, does not understand what could make a man take the life of someone else's child. Valentina Shakirova is convinced with a downward spiral, if his guilt is proven in court, he does not deserve. The death penalty, here I think the same here, deserves only this. "Since you killed, you have no right to live," says Valentina Shakirova. The defendant's detention was extended several times. The criminal case was transferred to the court on March 28th. In 4.5 months, 12 closed sessions were held. Ilya Polosin, a lawyer, representative of the Shakirova family. Throughout the trial, that is, all court sessions, he repented. He admitted guilt fully in all crimes. In August 2019, the defendant was given the last word. For a combination of crimes under the articles of murder and violent acts of a sexual nature, the judge sentenced 45-year-old Alexei Komarov to 20 years of imprisonment, with serving his sentence in a strict regime colony. In addition, the perpetrator was obliged to pay the girl's parents 2 million rubles in moral compensation. The tragedy with Alina has brought Valentina Shakirova's family even closer together. The elder daughter, even to the martial arts section, which she attends, is now accompanied by her father. The girl does not like it, but deep down she probably understands why this is happening. The child's death has forced Valentina to reconsider some of her views on life and on the world, on children and on family. It feels like we pay little attention to our children, says Alina Shakirova. We adults, as always, have some problems and work. And children, they may want more attention, but they don't get enough. Maybe it would not be like this. Support the video with a like and the channel with a subscription. All the best to you. Be careful.